I was having the worst day of my life, and in a classic dramatic fashion, I looked up in the sky and said, "Please help me." It was a bright sunny day as I strolled along the beautiful Central Park in New York. An old man was playing the violin, a young couple was sharing a hot dog, kids were playing baseball, and me, well, let's just say I was there to lose my mind and find my soul. Emotionally, I was having the worst day of my life and just couldn't get a grip on my mind. I'd never felt so helpless before. I was so miserable that I sat on a bench and broke down. Luckily, I was wearing shades, so others couldn't see my tears. I even called up my mum back in London and was hoping she could say the magic words, 'cause mothers are special, right? But nothing that she said to me on the phone helped me feel better. Eventually, I gave up, and in a classic dramatic fashion, I looked up in the sky and said, "Please help me." I waited for a couple of minutes, looked everywhere, but nothing happened. There was no lightning, no rainbow, no doves. My angels never turn up when I need them the most, is what I said to myself, and went back to my sad state. I was so sad and miserable that I was holding a book in my hand, upside down, and pretending to read it. An hour passed by, and my heart was tired of bleeding. Suddenly, something flashed in front of me. A tall, elderly Afro-American man in a bright red tracksuit walked past me. For a second, my tears froze, and I couldn't take my eyes off him. And just when I couldn't believe it, that man turned around and came and sat right next to me on the bench. "How do you read a book upside down?" is the first thing that he said to me. And before I knew it, I had a little smile on my face. I had no logical explanation for what was happening and couldn't figure out whether he was just being friendly or planning to rob me. I couldn't find the words and just continued to stare at him like a child. And without any hesitation, he started telling me his life story. He was unemployed, homeless, suffering from cancer with no health insurance. First wife dumped him. Second wife didn't wake up one morning. And his last hope, his mother, had forgotten him, thanks to Alzheimer's. It sounded like he was going through hell, 1,000,000 times worse than I was. And yet, he wasn't sad about it. He wanted to live and had a zest for life. Soon after finishing his story, he just got up and before leaving, dropped the magic words. "Life can be as good as you make it out to be." And then he vanished into thin air. But his final words stayed with me. That man was the angel I was praying for. I didn't just bounce out of my emotional state. Together, Central Park and I turned over a new leaf that day. New York is a bustling city, but despite all the noise around me, life whispered into my ear, "Have another go."